I do, Vince.
You still have your sense of humor.
Yeah.
Roger, I'm interested in the brain waves that you use in order to do this. From what I understand of brain waves, I understand alpha, beta, theta, and delta. Alpha being awake and delta being asleep.
Oh, is that how that goes? That's sort of the progression? Yeah.
Well,
I'm not an expert.
Alpha is a relaxed state. There's been a lot of research on theta, which is deep meditation.
That's the one I thought.
But delta is comatose. So I'm talking to you from a coma right now, according to what they've seen in my brainwave patterns.
Right now.
Is that right?
Yeah, they say that I have an unusually high number of high level of delta waves, and that when I focus it increases.
I think it's sort of a couple of things that are sort of interesting here. If you take a look at the people that are talking here, there's something unusual about, very calm about the way he talks. Now, the delta waves, as you suggest, are unusually calm waves. They're waves that are lower in amplitude than other waves. They have to do with sleep. And I think hypnosis can teach us a lesson in this case, too, because it's repetitive and calming. And there is something very similar about the way the two of them speak now, if you listen to the two of them.
So does that recommend that if someone you love is in the hospital, and maybe they're unconscious or even in a coma, that it recommends having a calmer demeanor when you're with them? Does that make a difference, speaking in a calmer voice, not having so much frenetic energy when you're in the hospital room with them? Is that a fair conclusion to draw?
I think that works for a number of reasons. Well, I think it works because it will keep you calmer. I think the emotion, if you have a hysteria, you may be able to comment about this, and hysteria about things, that the person may be able to sense that. I think there's more than just delta waves going on here. I think it's the feeling, it's the emotion.
That's true, but it's not hysteria when a nurse or doctor comes in and screaming at the person to open their eyes and move their fingers. It's an approach that you don't need to yell at them. They hear you. You don't need to create pain. They can move if you ask them. There are all kinds of things that can be done that unfortunately aren't done. And the other thing I want to say, if anybody who sees this program, if you have someone in a coma or that you soon experience that, get to them early.
When we come back, one of our guests is going to get a big surprise. Stay with us. If you'd like to join us here on The Other Side as a member of our studio audience, please call us for tickets at 213-520-2307. Welcome back to The Other Side. Just as this show is being prepared, Stacy Baldino received a call from an old friend, stuntman Cheyenne Rivera, who hadn't seen Vincent in 15 years. Cheyenne is joining us today and has some good news for his friend. Let's welcome Cheyenne Rivera. Cheyenne? This is, we have to have people don't know, you're not just a stuntman, but you, for a living, you jump off buildings.
Yeah, well, I do horses and cars.
You'll jump off anything, okay. But you have jumped off a 15-story building, is that right?
Well, there was a 13-year-old hemophiliac dying of AIDS, and they contacted me, and I free fell in the Thunderdome in St. Pete, Florida. And we raised some monies for Johnny Keller.
God bless you.
Thank you.
And now you are going to do another one of these jumps?
Yes, sir. We are producing a video called Over the Edge, where it's just a video on some of the top stuntmen and stuff, and we're going to dedicate part of our proceeds to Vincent and the Vince Baldino Family Support Fund, which we're founding today.
I understand you have a poem.
Well, I had a poem. It's just I think that Vincent is like a river, in the fact that through God we have rain, and Vince was the rain, and through the rain became a creek, and through the creek, as it flowed slowly, became a river. So we have now just going to begin to watch this river run. And I will run with this river till it runs into the ocean, an ocean of love and support. So run, Vincent, run.
Roger, is your work through when somebody regains consciousness?
No. Don't you see that? Yeah, all of us. No, there's a friendship and a love that's there, and we'll be together, and everybody else I've worked with will be together for a long time.
William James studied religious experiences and said that people tend to have calamities, admit defeat, and then ask for help in some form. You suggested that you had this happen to you. What do you attribute your gift to?
First of all, I don't see it as a gift, because a gift implies that it can be taken away. I see it as a talent and ability that's been acquired over a long period of time, which could be, as someone could look at it, as other lifetimes. One of the things I haven't mentioned is I belong to an ecumenical council and have for 10 years, and we have representation from the major religions of the world, and we meet once a year for 4 days, and these kinds of issues are talked about. And all of these individuals come from the mystical aspect of their tradition. So I would say when you give in and you open, it's beginning the mystical path.
I appreciate your humility very much. It's hard to find sometimes these days. But I'd like to ask you, what exactly is the therapy when you're through with bringing them out of the coma? What is involved? Extensive therapy with nurses, or is
yes, Stacy, as a physical therapy, what else is involved?
Physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech, education, psychiatry, recreational therapy. What they're trying to work with Vincent now is that he's lost a little bit of the ability for short-term memory. You know, we'll have to ask him tomorrow if he remembers being here today. And but he remembers things from the past, like Cheyenne, you know, something that really touched his heart, and he remembers that. And the other, they work on so that hopefully he'll remember everything.
But this is a long and arduous ordeal.
Yeah, it takes about 6 months, I understand, that the brain needs to, you know, reduce its swelling, and then in a year they'll tell me what they feel the limitations are.
How many people have you worked with?
I've worked with 9. One was a woman over 2 years in a coma, and what they discovered in my work with her is that she was cognizant of her surroundings and that she had given up, and that they knew exactly when she had given up, which was 1.5 years before. The other individuals that have not come out are long-term comatose people, and they're slowly coming out. I'm working with Ed White's daughter right now. I don't know if you've heard about that, but Ed was a lineman for the Chargers and Minnesota Vikings, and his daughter Amy, who's 19, went through an exact same injury as Vincent, but I didn't get to her till 4.5 months into the coma. And I've been working with her since early November, and she's beginning to respond. She's turning to requests, moving her arms and her legs to request. So my feeling is that when you get to them later on, that part of them that's not between their ears is so far out there that it takes quite a while to entice it to come back if that's the choice.
Remarkable. Well, we'll be back in a moment with more good news for Vincent. Stay with us.
Accommodations have been furnished by the beautiful Continental Plaza Hotel, minutes from the LA airport, offering free airport shuttle, fitness center, pool, and other amenities. The Continental Plaza Hotel. Dr. Will Miller's wardrobe, furnished by Rick Halleck, Sherman Oaks, California.
Welcome back to the other side. Now, Vincent, some of your friends are here, too. Where are Vincent's friends? Here, right up here? Stand up, you guys. You're all friends here to support. Great. You guys are all in the entertainment business, aren't you?
Yes, we are. We're with special effects. We heard about this through Cheyenne. Cheyenne called me up. I'm a very good friend of him. And all of us here, in one part or another, said, God, this is a great idea. Cheyenne said you were a super guy. We found out about you, and we just wish you the very best of luck.
Pulling together. Great. Great. Now, this is George Baldino. You're actually, you weren't not friends with Vincent before.
No, I heard about this through Cheyenne, and I'm in the restaurant business, and when he told me about it, it's really touched my heart, and he invited me to be here, and here I am.
And you are actually going to kick off today a fund, aren't you?
We are.
Fund.
Yes, we are, and we're going to kick it off with $2,500, and it's just the beginning.
To support the rehabilitation.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you very much. What's the kind of love you're talking about, Roger?
Yes, I'd like to interject something real quickly here. When I talk about the love and support of the family for someone coming out of the coma, I wouldn't be able to do what I do if I didn't have the love and support of my wife and my 2 daughters.
Okay, good for you. Stacy, well, your hope was really tested. You were the one at the bedside and advised perhaps even to not hope. What do you have to say?
Don't give up hope. And even when people all around you are telling you that it's not possible, it can happen. And the key is you've got to follow your heart. You have to follow your heart.
Yeah. Cheyenne, I certainly take it that you've been inspired by this re-involvement with your friend.
Well, I feel that if it was tables turned and I was on the other side, they think Vincent would do the same for me.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vincent, what do you have to say?
It just takes a lot to make it happen, but it happens. Your friends are always there, which is the best that you can have. And sometimes you don't feel like you want to change, but you change, and it comes out to be worth it every minute. So thank you very much, you guys.
Well, we are inspired by your story and awed by this experience that's so hard to understand, but thank you all for sharing. And thanks for joining us on the other side. Here's a preview of our next show.
I'd scream.
Could you live in a house where every night was Halloween?
I heard this growl, and it scared the heck out of me.
Here's where the ghosts are, in the house on the right.
Right there, my God.
Through that door, up the stairs.
There's a little girl. She stands right here.
So you say there's no such thing as a ghost? You might change your mind. America's Most Haunted.